Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's topic will be Elizabethan Age. In the period of Renaissance, Elizabethan Age was the first age to come. As I have said earlier that in the period of Renaissance, four kind of periods will be there. The first one was Elizabethan Age, the next one will be the Jacobean Age, and the third one will be the Caroline Age, and in the end we'll be knowing about the Commonwealth period. Today we are going to learn about the first period, that is the Elizabethan Age. So Elizabethan Age was kind of a golden era of English history. As we have learned that the period of Renaissance was a kind of period of evolution. So as the Elizabethan Age was the first age in that period, so obviously it has to become a golden era of English history. So this period was during the reign of Queen Elizabeth, who was ruling that period from 1558 to 1603. So this was often considered as a golden age in English history, which was marked by some cultural flourishing, exploration, and some political stability. So Queen Elizabeth I was the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, and she ascended to the throne in 1558, which marked the beginning of the period of the Elizabethan Age. Her ruling period was notable for its political acumen and some strong leadership. In her ruling period, we'll be learning about some political landscapes that shaped the Elizabethan Age. The first one was the religious tension prevailing at that period. So, in this period, the transition from Catholicism to Protestantism happened, and the Church of England was established due to this transition. So it was a major religious tension prevailing at that period. And the defeat of the Spanish Armada happened in 1588, as Spanish has the ruling power at that period. So it was a pivotal movement showcasing the English naval strength, and it marked the decline of Spain as the dominant power. Some of the other cultural flourishing also happened in this period, in the field of literature, in the field of theatre, and also in the field of some exploration and expansion, in the field of science. So much evolution happened in this period. So first, in the field of literature, we'll be learning about some major writers from whose work we can learn that how the flourishing happened. So some works like Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo, Juliet, some histories, some tragedies which are written by William Shakespeare, and some other notable writers like Christopher Marlowe, Edmund Spenser, Ben Jonson. They majorly contributed to the rich literary landscape of this. A major cultural flourishing happened in this period by the establishment of some theatres. As drama has flourished in this period, so theatre has to be established in order to keep the ongoing evolution of the drama. So some of the rise of public theatres like the Globe, the Swan, the Rose was established in this period, and the popularity of drama and performance peaked in this period. So the role of acting companies and the evolution of theoretical works can be seen in this period. Some exploration and expansion also happened in this age. So in the age of, we can say that it was an age of exploration. Figures like Sir Walter Raleigh and Sir Francis Drake led voyages that expanded England's influence over the seas. And the establishment of the first English colony in the New World and exploration of North America also happened. And this exploration brings a huge economic impact on the period. Some trade routes were expanded and found by the exploration, and which leads to the increased wealth and resources flowing into England. So the exploration kind of lead a way for the economic flourishing of that period. Some scientific advancement also can be seen in this age, such as the in the field of literature and exploration. Because of the field of literature and exploration, it has laid some groundwork for the scientific inquiry. Such some key figures we'll be learning about Sir Francis Bacon, whose works promoted some empirical research and the scientific method. He was a major figure in the Elizabethan age, known for his empirical research and scientific method. Not only in the field of science or literature, but also in the field of art and architecture also development happened. So the development of portrait painting with artists like Hans Holbein and Nicholas Hilliard, who created some major paintings to flourish the art, to evolutionize the art structure of the period. And in the field of architecture, Elizabethan style was influenced by the Gothic and Renaissance elements, and notable buildings like the Elizabethan manor houses. We can see the development of architecture in the buildings of the Elizabethan manor houses. And the legacy of Elizabethan age has a huge impact on literature, culture, global exploration, has its lasting effects on the English identity majorly. So these themes of Elizabethan literature and exploration resonated today, influencing the contemporary thought and art. We can see that the influence of humanism and Renaissance ideals were mainly prominent in the Elizabethan literature. Also, the use of blank verse and the sonnet form was the main features of the Elizabethan writings. The flourishing of drama, poetry, and prose happened in this period, but the main thing was the drama was at its peak, and the themes of politics, religion, humanism, and love can be seen in the works of the major writers of the Elizabethan age. And the use of classical reference and mythology also can be seen in the works of Elizabethan period writers. So first we'll be learning about William Shakespeare, who was a major writer of Elizabethan age we must read. So William Shakespeare mostly wrote between 1564 to 1616. He was widely regarded as the greatest playwright and poet of the English language. He mainly wrote 38 plays, 154 sonnets, and several long narrative poems. Please remember, NT has already asked this question that Shakespeare wrote how many plays, how many sonnets. So please remember that Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, 154 sonnets. And some of his famous works, he wrote mainly tragedies, comedies, histories, and some political journals. So some famous tragedies of Shakespeare, such Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, King Lear. You must read about all these works. If you want me to post about some particular works, please let me know in the comment section below. And some of the comedies are A Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, Twelfth Night, and many more. And histories are about the kings that ruled at that period. So it was he wrote histories about Richard III, Henry V, and some other kings as well. He innovated the English language, containing many new words and phrases still in use today. So the impact of William Shakespeare as well as his works can be seen in the modern literature we are reading today. So the next writer we will be learning is Christopher Marlowe. He comes after William Shakespeare. So we can see that Marlowe's works ranges between 1564 to 1593. He mainly wrote between 1564 to 1593. He was considered as Shakespeare's greatest predecessors in English drama. And he introduced the use of blank verse to English drama. Please remember this point. Please highlight this point. Christopher Marlowe introduced the use of blank verse to the English drama. Some of the famous works are Dr. Faustus, which explores the theme of knowledge, power, and mortality, and which brings him from everything to nothing, in his own selfish mode, he destroyed everything. So you must read about the Dr. Fausters. And then comes the Tamburlaine the Great. It was a historical play about the rise of a Mongol conqueror. It was a short story. Please read about it. And next comes the Jew of Malta. You must all have read in your school times. So the Jew of Malta explores some religious hypocrisy and greed. It has explored the theme of Christianity. It has explored how religious hypocrisy and greed was prominent at that period. And Christopher Marlowe died at the age of 29, and he died in a mysterious way, which fueled many suspicions or many kind of speculation that how he died, what he did. So it was not that much important, but remember that he died at the age of 29. And then next comes the writer Edmund Spenser. He wrote majorly between 1552 to 1599. He was known for his epic poetry and the invention of the Spenserian stanza. His famous works were The Fairy Queen, Amirete, and some combined mythological Christianity and contemporary politics that he always incorporated in his work. So The Fairy Queen was about it. It is an allegorical epic poem, often celebrating the Queen Elizabeth I and exploring the many moral virtues that it has. And Amirete was a sonnet sequence. It is a collection of sonnets about love and courtships. Now, we'll be learning more about this in some other videos. And next comes the Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson majorly wrote between 1572 to 1637. He was a contemporary of Shakespeare, known for his satirical comedies. He wrote mainly comedies, and he helped to solidify the comedy of humor genre. So from him, the comedy of humor genre was became prominent. And some of the famous works of his are Volpone, which satirized the theme of greed and corruption, and The Alchemist, which was a farcical comedy about the gullibility and deception that was caused in the Elizabethan Age. And next, the Every Man in His Humor, which is a play based on bodily humors influencing behaviors. I'll be telling when I'll make a video on Ben Jonson. There I'll be telling about the bodily humors and how it affected the human behavior. Next comes Sir Philip Sidney. Philip Sidney was the major important writer of the Elizabethan Age. So he wrote mainly between 1554 to 1586, and he was known as the finest poets and prose writers of the era. And he was a pure critic. His famous works are Astrobal and Stella, which was a sonnet sequence exploring themes of unrequited love. Means the love that was not being responded are written in this sonnet sequence. And the defense of poesy. It was a treatise defending the role of poetry in society. In this work, we can see that Sidney has defended the poetry, and he has said about the importance of poetry in the society. And he wrote Arcadia, which was a prose romance blending pastoral themes and some courtly love. He was an ideal Renaissance man. We can see that in his work and in his personality, in his life, that every theme of Renaissance was incorporated in his life and as well as in his works. He embodies the chivalric ideals and intellectual powers that a Renaissance person should have in him. Next comes Thomas Kyd. He wrote mainly between 1558 to 1594, and he was best known for establishing the revenge tragedy genre, and his famous works are the Spanish tragedy, which influenced the later revenge tragedies, including Hamlet. And the themes are revenge, justice, and the moral complexity of the vegans. So Thomas Kyd mostly wrote tragedies. And some other key figures we can see in the Elizabethan literature was John Lilly, who was known for his prose work, Euphues, and influence on courtly manners and speech. And next comes Thomas Nash, who was a playwright and pamphleteer known for his satirical work, The Unfortunate Traveller. It was a work based on the life of Sir Jack Wilton. And then comes Robert Greene, who was a playwright and a pamphleteer, who was critic of Shakespeare, who always criticized the works of Shakespeare and wrote pan. So now, as I discussed about the writers, I would like to let you all know that some of these writers belong to the group of university wits. So university, as I have already said, that drama was at its peak in this period. So university wits are the pioneers of the English drama. Who are the university wits? So the university wits were a group of educated playwrights and poets who were active in the late 16th century, just before William Shakespeare's rise to prominence. And they were named because many of them were educated at Oxford and or Cambridge. And their works laid the foundation for Elizabethan drama, contributing significantly to the development of English theatre and literature. Some of the figures are Christopher Marlowe, Robert Greene, Thomas Nash, George Billy, Thomas Lawes, Thomas Kidd, John Lilly. And so I'll be posting another full video on university wits because it played a prominent part in the period of British literature. So I'll be posting a whole separate video on university wits. So in today's video, we learned why the Elizabethan age was a golden age of English literature, producing some of the greatest writers and works in the history. The innovations in drama, poetry, and prose during this time continue to shape the English literary tradition that we are continuing to see today. The works of Shakespeare, Marlowe, and their contemporaries remain widely studied, performed, and revered today. So, if you all found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more educational content. See you all in the next video. Thank you.